The Shorekeeper is finally out, and everyone is excited now that we can finally put our resident heal bot to rest. Verena is finally going to retire.
Yay, Verena's going to retire.
But before all of that, let us talk about how to build the Shorekeeper, and that's what exactly this video is gonna be about. So let's roll that intro, let's go! Hello everyone, hello beautiful person watching this video right now wherever you are in the world. Kamusta mga kapitbahay at mga kaibigan? Welcome to another video as part of our Shorekeeper series. But this time we are going to talk about her build and stuff. Like, this is it. The final decision on the Shorekeeper. Primarily, she will be a healer with buffing capability. She can buff our crit rate and crit damage. But here's the thing. If you plan to get her to S6, she can actually deal a lot of damage as well. Especially her discernment intro skill will be a nuclear weapon. This head over heels in love with the rover character is a weapon of mass destruction. But only if you are S6. Other than that, I think if you're going to be an S0, maybe just focus on building her as a healer, support, and buffer, okay? At S2, that's when you start using her as a damage dealer. Weapon. The best weapon is, of course, her best in slot weapon. As a healer and support unit, the Stellar Symphony is actually great on her. It will give her a lot of attack, 413 in total, plus energy regen of 77%, making it easier for you to get to the 250% ER that you need in order for her to maximize her buffing capability. But that's not all, because it also increases her HP by 12%, plus gives the entire party with 14% attack increase for 30 seconds. So this is a great overall weapon for her as a healer, buffer, and support. The second weapon for her, I think, the second best weapon for her is Variation with 338 attack and 51.8% energy recharge. It will also provide her with 8 concerto energy each time she casts her resonance skill. For a healer with some increased damage from her intro skill, the discernment intro skill, which scales off of HP, you may want to consider Comet Flare with 338 attack and 30.4% HP. Note that the passive also increases her healing bonus by 3%, which can stack up to 9%. And this is activated when she deals a basic or heavy attack. Moving on to Sonatas and Echoes, two school of thoughts exist right now. Either you build her for damage because you want to take advantage of her intro skill, the discernment intro skill, or you could just build her as a purely healer, buffer, support kind of character. At S0, you may want to just focus on being a healer and buffer for the rest of the team, and that means you want to give her rejuvenating glow, which increases her healing bonus by 10%, and a party-wide attack increase of 15% for 30 seconds from the 5-piece effect when you heal your allies. The Fallacy of No Return is your best, I think your best for cost Echo. If you're gonna give her the rejuvenating glow, it will increase the Shorekeeper's energy regen by 10% and provide an attack bonus to all party members of another 10% for 20 seconds. For your forecast, the best one would be, I would say, healing bonus percent. But if you cannot have that, there's always crit damage percent or HP. Crit damage percent will increase your intro discernment, and HP will also increase your intro discernment and at the same time increase your healing. So, depending on what you have, If you have heal bonus percentage, then keep that. Use that one instead. But if you don't have it, go with the other two. Crit damage percent or HP. As for your 3 costs, ER percent, energy regen percent for both of them, and your 1 cost, both of them also HP percent and HP. In this build, you want to prioritize energy regen, followed by HP, followed by crit damage, and then if you can get some resonance liberation bonus, then you should be good. Now, for those who want to use her as a DPS or are gonna go for S6, use Celestial Light instead. 2-piece gives you 10% spectral damage, 5-piece gives you 30% spectral damage upon casting your intro skill. Your 4 cost here would be the Morning Ikes. Its passive increases the Shorekeeper's spectral damage bonus by 12% and also her resonance liberation damage by 12%. And that's really important. If you're wondering why do we need resonance liberation, I will explain that later, but definitely some resonance liberation is gonna be a great part of her damage. The 4 cost will have crit damage percent. Both 3 costs will have spectral damage, and your 1 costs are gonna be HP percent with HP as the secondary stat. Now, as for the substat rolls, here you want to have crit damage percent as your priority, then ER, then HP, then resonance liberation bonus. There it goes again, the resonance liberation. Anywho, moving on to her talent. Your priority will be number 1, resonance liberation, followed by her intro skill, followed by her resonance skill, then the Forte Circuit, and then the basic attacks. So, the R skill and the Forte Circuit are almost very similar. R skill provides more healing. I don't think the Forte Circuit provides anything, but the R skill will provide more healing, but the Forte Circuit will deal increased damage. Both of them are homing missiles. She will produce these like birds, and they will attack the enemy. They will strike the enemy down. They will home into the enemy and deal spectral damage. Your resonance liberation is your main gimmick. So, with the resonance liberation, you will create a stellar realm that will last for 30 seconds, and it will convert the Shorekeeper's energy recharge percent to crit rate percent and crit damage percent buffs. So in order to get the maximum of 12.5% crit rate and 25% crit damage, you need 200% energy regen. Note that in order to get both of these buffs, during the Stellar Realms duration, 2 characters need to perform intro skills. And also, note that if the second character happens to be the Shorekeeper, it will end the duration of this resonance liberation. However, with sequence 1, if you've unlocked that, the Shorekeeper will no longer end the duration of the Stellar Realm. Another thing that you need to consider with the resonance liberation is that it is the talent that will provide the most amount of heals. Based on my calculation, it's going to be around at least 11,000 and upwards, up to like 26,000. No, around 36, I mean. But there is no cap, so I think, as far as I know, there is no cap to the healing. So, as long as you give her HP, then she will heal your party a lot. The only problem with this, though, is she's like Bennett in Genshin Impact. It takes around 3 seconds per tick. So you're gonna be, if it's gonna be, say, let's say 11,000, that's 1,100 every 3 seconds. And the heal only, I believe, goes to the active character. As for her intro skill, there are 2 intro skill types. One is Enlightenment, and the second one is Discernment. Enlightenment is based off of her attack, so it's kind of lower compared to the other one, which is Discernment. And Discernment happens when, during her Stellar Realm, you return to the Shorekeeper and she activates her intro skill. That is considered as a resonance liberation damage. That's why you need some resonance liberation damage bonus from your substat rolls. Also, discernment is it will scale off of HP, so if you have a lot of HP, more damage there as well. It can also crit. In fact, it is a guaranteed crit all the time. Each time you cast your intro skill, it is a critical hit. So you want to put in crit damage on your Shorekeeper in order to maximize the discernment or phase 2 of her intro skill. However, once you've cast the level 2 or discernment intro skill, the duration of the stellar realm is going to end. Unless if you unlocked her S1, which will actually extend it to its full 30-second duration. Finally, you have the outro skill, which provides a 15% team-wide damage increase. Also, it will provide your active character an instant recovery and dodge. By pressing the dodge button, it will actually be a perfect dodge, and this will be active for 30 seconds or after 5 times that you've dodged using this outro skills effect. For unlockables, you get up to 12% HP and up to 12% healing bonus. Now let's go to her inherent skills. The first inherent skill is similar to the second inherent skill of Verena. This means when a Resonator other than the Shorekeeper takes a fatal blow, they will not be knocked out and will instead be healed for 50% of the Shorekeeper's HP, while the Shorekeeper loses the same amount of HP. Now, the Shorekeeper's HP will not go below 1 from this effect, and this effect can be triggered once, only once, every 10 minutes. The second unlockable inherent skill is when the Resonator on the field is within the effective range of her stellar realm, Shorekeeper's energy regen will increase by another 10%. And if you have the Rover in your team, he will also gain a 10% increase on his energy regen. Now, how do you Shorekeeper? How do you take advantage of all these skills? Number 1, let the Shorekeeper cook, okay? Until she has full concerto energy, okay? Now, once she has full concerto energy, let her cast her Residence Liberation and then swap out to the next Resonator in order to perform her outro skill and the incoming Resonator's intro skill. This will activate the crit rate buff of, if you have full 250%, then you get 12.5%. The incoming Resonator is going to get that. Now, let that Resonator simmer. Let him cook there within the stellar realm until he also has, or he or she has, full concerto energy. Okay? Once that's full, swap out to maybe your main damage dealer. Okay? Maybe the first Resonator is a sub DPS like Sheshi or Yinlin, and then you swap out to your main damage dealer, let's say Jinshi, in order for her to activate another intro skill. Just make sure that the previous Resonator has their concerto energy full, so that they will do their intro and outro, and this will actually buff that Resonator's, the incoming Resonator's crit damage and crit rate. So if you have 250% ER on your Shorekeeper, that's 12% crit rate and 25% crit damage. Now, here's another scenario here for our Zero, okay? After step 4, now you go to step 5, which is switch back to the Shorekeeper in order for her to perform her intro skill, and she will now gain all of those buffs, okay? Now, when the Shorekeeper re-enters, this will actually trigger level 2 of her intro skill. So instead of Enlightenment, now you are going to be casting Discernment instead, which is, like I mentioned, based on her HP and is her new capability, okay? However, once she casts her intro skill in this way, the Stellar Realm will end its duration. Again, unless if you've unlocked S1, the Stellar Realm will end its duration if the Shorekeeper goes in or does her intro skill again as the second Resonator to perform that, because you need two intro skills in order to get the full buffs. Step 6, just rinse and repeat the process. Now we go to her sequences. S1 will extend the effective range of her healing and buffs during her stellar realm by 150%. So that's over double of the current size at the SO level. It will double the size of it, plus an additional 50%. The duration is also going to be extended by 10 seconds. So instead of 30 seconds, you now have 40 seconds. And finally, as mentioned earlier, casting the intro skill Discernment will no longer end the existing stellar realm. So it will continue on for the full duration of 40 seconds. Moving on to S2, the outer stellar realm now increases the attack of all nearby or active party members by 40%. S3, casting the Resonance Liberation End Loop grants Shorekeeper 20 concerto energy. This effect can be triggered once every 25 seconds only, but 20 concerto energy will definitely help in order to get that intro and outro skills more often. S4, gain 70% additional healing bonus when casting Resonance skill Chaos Fury. S5, it will extend the range of the pulling effect of her basic attack stage 3 by 50% and the elation by 30%. Finally, S6 increases the damage multiplier of intro skill Discernment by 42%. In addition, casting intro skill Discernment will increase her critical damage by a whopping 500%. So you definitely want S1. And the thing that you really want from the S1 is the fact that you can use the Shorekeeper as the second Resonator that will perform an intro skill within the stellar realm without ending its total duration. S4 is also amazing because you gain 70% additional healing bonus when casting your Resonance skill Chaos Theory. Okay? And then finally, S6 of course increases the damage of her intro skill Discernment by 42%. In addition, you gain that juicy 500% damage, crit damage increase. Finally, and promise this is going to be the last one, the team comp for the Shorekeeper. I suggest that you pair her up with teammates with high concerto energy regeneration and a unit, a main damage dealer that will maximize concerto energy in order to deal more damage. So, number 1, I would say Jinshi and Sheshi or Yinlin. And Yinlin, I believe, has more concerto energy compared to Sheshi. But Sheshi does have more or a longer off-field damage, coordinated attack damage. So it's up to you which character you want, but definitely these two will definitely work with Jinshi and the Shorekeeper. And of course, like the Jinshi, for example, definitely needs a lot of concerto energy in order for her to get the full stacks that she needs in order to nuke your enemy during her forte circuit. A second character that I feel is great with the Shorekeeper, or second characters in a team comp. Okay, you may want to put the Shorekeeper with Xiang Liao and Yinlin. We all know how great that combination already is, and then add the Shorekeeper in there. Fabulous. Now, next, I think Jian and Mortifi with the Shorekeeper is definitely is gonna work. And then we have Shangli and Sheshi, and as you know, Shangli also needs full stacks of her concerto energy for her forte circuit. Oh no, for her Resonance Liberation. Plus, the combination of Glacio and Pyro here, or Fusion, is fabulous. Definitely a huge increase in damage, and given the fact that Shangli, for example, will get a lot of crit rate and crit damage from the Shorekeeper, even makes her deadlier. finally is Spectral Rover plus Sanhua. Sanhua produces a lot of concerto energy, and she also provides what do you call this? A lot of damage bonuses as well for the Spectral Rover. So this team comps, I feel, would be great with the Shorekeeper. Again, how to Shorekeeper? Let the Shorekeeper cook until she has enough or she has full concerto energy. Then cast Shorekeeper's Resonance Liberation, swap out to the next Resonator so that we can activate the intro-outro skill. This will activate the crit rate buff. Let that other Resonator, hopefully that will be your sub DPS, cook there and gain a full concerto energy, and then swap out to your main damage dealer in order to activate their intro skill as well and outro skill of the outgoing Resonator, and then you gain both crit damage and crit rate buffs. Or you could switch back to the Shorekeeper, let her do her discernment intro skill, and then end the duration of her Resonance Liberation. Rinse and repeat. That's it. And on that note, that ends this video. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and sitting through all of this. You know what? It's a lot of work to come up with all that computation that I did in the previous videos, and then also analyzing her kit, and then coming up with this build guide. So really appreciate you guys making it this far, and at the same time, if possible, please, if you find this really helpful, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, watch the other videos in this series of you know, the Spectral or the Shorekeeper calculation series. And yeah, thank you so much for all the support. Maraming salamat po. Hopefully this was really helpful. If you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section. Also, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Leave them all on the comment section. Thank you so much. Have a great one. And good luck on your Shorekeeper wishes. Maraming salamat po. Bye-bye!